And then the goal is with the working group updates to make them shorter. I think in the last meeting, we spent the whole meeting on the working group updates. So my goal is to have you put as much, maybe a little extra text and just give us the key points, just the key points. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It's a couple minutes past. So the first thing on the agenda is that this notes doc is 163 pages long. And it's gotten crashy for some people. Catherine was having a hard time just opening it and editing it the other day. So I think we need to go ahead and archive these and then just start the new ones for 2024. I'm not sure if anyone wants to.
I'll take that. I actually have it on my to-do list.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Noah.
Can I comment about that, Noah?
Sure.
All right. So what we've done is, if you don't know, we created a projects Google account where all these documents live. So we can discuss together and I'll create blank documents for you to work with in that specific folder. The idea is to make it long living, so nothing belongs to anybody personally or to a company account or anything. So let's work on that together.
Sounds good to me.
Good. Just reach out. If I have time tomorrow, we can make things happen.
Love it.
Okay, very cool. So we have some opportunities for tags around KubeCon. The deadline for these things is January 17th. So one of the options is a 5-minute lightning talk. So we had talked about maybe doing something around accessibility in general and maybe having someone from the Deaf and Hard of Hearing group lead that. So I will, this is kind of a discussion that we had, I think, in the governance working group, actually. So I can talk to Catherine about that. I don't know if somebody wants to volunteer to take notes, because I'm struggling to take notes and talk at the same time. I'm not good at that. So I think the action item there is to make sure that gets submitted before the 17th, and probably something around accessibility, because we didn't want it just to be a tag pitch, because we feel like maybe those aren't attended as well as something that's a little more specific. Any questions or thoughts on that? Okay.
There was a discussion last time of having like 4 or 5 different topics. Is that for a different talk track than this one?
Yeah, that was for the maintainer session. And so that one was already submitted. The deadline for that one was I think just before Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah, so that got submitted. So that's in the approval queue right now for KubeCon. We also have the option for some PR support, and I think that the idea is to maybe do some PR support around the Deaf and Hard of Hearing work that we've done. So a lot of that kind of kicked off for the last KubeCon, but we didn't really do a lot of PR around it. So hopefully we can submit something and get to get that, because this is more than just the CNCF promoting it on the social channels. This is actually them kind of putting together a package and queuing things up with analysts and press. So the idea being that maybe we could get a little more visibility in the press for some of this outside of just the typical social channels. The kiosk, so we've already requested the kiosk, and the kiosk will be focused on the Deaf and Hard of Hearing group. We decided, I think, we did a tag kiosk at, I think, 2 KubeCons in a row, and those were really hard. Nobody knows to talk to us. It involves a lot of standing around, and it was kind of hard to get engagement just as like that tag. But I feel like the Deaf and Hard of Hearing group has a much better chance of that, because I feel like people will be interested in that as a topic and will stop by, where they just didn't really know to stop and talk to us. and the goal of that is really to get more people within our community to actually meet some of these folks and kind of get used to interacting with them in you know, in the CNCF environment. So you know, and they can ask questions, they can just learn more. So I think that focusing in on the deaf and hard of hearing group is a really good option. I think we'll still do some canvassing, which we did last time. I think that the takeaway was that we need to take better notes about some of the questions that some of the projects asked, because what we did last time is we went to as many kiosks as we could. We talked about what Tag CS does. We pointed them to our resources, but we didn't really take notes and be like, oh, well, this project is struggling with this thing, so that we can follow up with them later. So we'd like to do a better job of that. So we'll coordinate that in advance of KubeCon and work with all of you to kind of divide up some of those responsibilities.
I would like to comment on that and say that I couldn't tell you where the booths were after having walked the show floor 3 or 4 times. So canvassing is definitely going to be an important aspect depending on what the layout looks like. Because we may have people who wanted to know where it was that just didn't find us.
Yeah, the project pavilion is always kind of tucked away in a corner somewhere. So it does tend to be kind of hard for people to find. But the good news is the project pavilion has all of the projects. So once you get there, it's a good place to roam around and talk to folks. Rian.
Yeah, not to try and make more work, but a good outcome out of the canvassing might be a blog about what we've learned.
Yeah, I love that idea. I think that's a great idea.
No, it's kind of one way to make a summary of this is the things that were discovered.
Yeah, no, I like that. Okay, anything else on KubeCon in general? Okay. So it looks like Pauline can't make it, and she's the one that added this agenda item. So I think the short take on this is that the CNCF has some sort of agreement with Gitpod to let projects use Gitpod. And I think people are still trying to figure out what that means, what they could use it for. So I think Pauline's kind of going out and just trying to get some visibility for this. So I would say have a look at the issue and maybe reach out to her if you have any questions. I'm not sure about whether or not we should add it to the contributors page. I think maybe that's a question for someone like Amy, someone at the CNCF, to see if that's appropriate, because it's some sort of business relationship that they have between Gitpod and the CNCF, and I'm not sure exactly what the parameters around that are. But if you have any questions, there's an issue, or you can reach out to Pauline.
You want me to ask Amy the question?
Yeah, that would be great, actually.
I can
Since you are at the CNCF, I keep forgetting that you're at the CNCF now, or the LF, I guess.
Yes, no worry, I'll ask Amy.
Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so the next item on the agenda, also Rian, the charter and README.
With my CNCF hat on. All right, just repeating what I said in the previous, in the governance meeting. I jumped early in the year and just addressed this already in governance. So we did a lot of reading through all the charters and information in the READMEs of all the tags to see how it's organized. And one of the things that stood out is and if we look at our own charter, it lives both in the TOC repo under tags, and it lives also in our own repo, and they are very much out of sync. So the other thing that we notice is leadership is listed in several places. including the charter, and even the leadership in the two charters don't match, and also the leadership in the charters and the README don't match. So to beat that thing is, and other tags actually have projects, so they list their projects on their charter as well, but by the speed projects are coming in, it's humanly impossible to try and keep track of those. So things that we're going to change is I'm going to bring over our charter that's inside the TOC repo, combine it with the charter that we have on this side, and then simplify it, removing from the charter anything that's changing, like leadership. Then leadership is going to be listed only in the TOC repo. There is a tags file that contains the leadership information, and we're just going to hyperlink to that to say this is the leadership for the tag. At the moment, it's only applying to working groups. Our README actually have a nice breakdown of this is the leaders, and this is the working groups. So the working group's going to stay there. It's going to be a little funny in the beginning, but I'm still not sure exactly how we're going to do leadership working groups. We've got working group leadership management, because it's very different across tags. So leadership for the tags itself is very easy. So I'll come with some PRs to do that, and I'll leave the charter open for us to discuss if we want to add, remove things. Then the TOC also asked, outside of the cleaning up bit, that tags start rethinking their charters. You know, some of the charters have been written as much as 5 or 6 years ago when it was still SIGs. And we need to think, is what's inside the charter actually still the mandate of what we want to do? Is there more things that need to come in, or some things that need to go out? And then a very important thing that they said is, when reconsidering charter, you should not consider what can we achieve with the people that we have. That's not the question. The question is, what do we want to achieve? So it should not be a shrinking of scope to be resource bound. It should be a full scope of what does this mean for a tag of contributor strategy. So with the charter review, so what I've proposed in the previous meeting, so what I will delete the one in TOC, bring it over, and maybe stick the both of them in a Google Doc, and then we work that out, and we actually make one big PR, just fixing the charter the way we want it with our revisioned version of the charter, which would probably take about a month of back and forthing, but I'll manage that.
Cool.
Any questions? Good, I'm on top of that. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Governance working group. Ollie's been working on the governance review request form, which is designed for projects to actually give us the information that we need to do our governance assessments, so that we don't spend all of our time digging up links and trying to find information. So I'm super excited about that. I think, Ollie, since Emily already said that it was okay in the Google Doc form, and Josh and I have both given it an approval. So I think from my perspective, I think we can probably merge that. I don't know if do we want to give them just the weekend and do it on Monday, or do we want to merge it tomorrow?
Yeah, I can wait until Monday, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the idea is we'll pilot this with Knative, who's looking to do a governance assessment. And I'll also cycle back with the telepresence folks, because I haven't done their governance assessment either. So I'll ask them to fill out the form to give us the additional details, and then get to work on those. Okay, maintainer circle, David. Oops, you're on mute.
Yeah, I was muted. So I got that promotion that was like a very bad thing, and that threw me off. And then I got laid off right after KubeCon. So the last month and a half has been crazy. But I am now at a company called Teleport. Still in DevRel role. I'm gonna have time to do this. I'm back in a pure IC role, and that seems to be guaranteed for the foreseeable future. So I will actually have time to do this, and I'm gonna start. I actually was looking at my notes from the people I canvassed at KubeCon when I was canvassing, and there were a couple people who had MC ideas, and so I'm gonna start reaching out to them today, and I'll have another update for next month.
Awesome. Yeah, to be honest, the maintainer circle at KubeCon is looking very unlikely because apparently the Paris venue just doesn't have a lot of extra space. So
Okay.
I'll be honest, I don't think they're gonna approve a maintainer circle for KubeCon. So I think
Yeah,
we
I mean,
just look at
I'm
when,
shooting to do some more virtual ones, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And as of right now, I'm not like the new company is big enough that they have an EU team, so I won't be at EU as of this moment. So yeah.
okay. Cool. Well, as I said before, welcome back. We're happy to have you back and working on the tag stuff.
Thanks.
The Deaf and Hard of Hearing Working Group, we don't have anyone from that in this meeting. They haven't had any meetings so far this year, but they have made some progress on the best practices, and the have launched a Deaf and Cloud Native community groups for meetups in sign language. So the first one is next week. So the links are there, so feel free to have a look at those. Website infra.
Yeah, I can talk about that. So here there are not big updates other than that thing that I will not do. So the website tech, like the Hugo and other dependencies, I don't remember them. So last year when I was joining the tag, I wanted to update these to newest versions, but it wasn't that easy. And in a year now, I'm busy with other stuff within the tag. So I think the new stuff is more important. I mean, updating the versions, no one really asks, so I will not that do thing, not do that thing. So just a short update about that.
Yeah,
And-
fair enough.
Okay. So mentoring. There is no news from the LFX Mentee Summit yet, which I was offering help to select mentees for that summit. So I'm still waiting. And about the mentoring programs, so we have the LFX Term 1. It is already planned, and we already have 3 proposals. But we are a bit slow actually because the proposal deadline is January 24th. So I need 2 things from the tag folks. First one is reviewing this term document that is linked there, this PR. That would be very nice. And social media support. So if we are wondering what we can submit this week or month, I still am learning the cadence. We can submit something around this mentoring programs. So that is LFX and Google Summer of Code. So we have a better deadline there in terms of project proposals. We have until March 11th. But for the organization application, we should have some ideas listed to, when we apply to Google. So again, there we need some social media support. So how can if you all agree on this, how do I do? I post something on my social media and then we ask someone to boost, or?
I haven't done this in a while. I think the way that it used to work before was that you would post something on social media and then go to there's a social media channel in
You're
the
right.
CNCF Slack. So I think if you look through that and see, yeah, most people are looking for retweets of things.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we also have the Mastodon account, so we can post it directly from that as well. Do you have access to that? Probably in the 1Password.
Yeah, I have it. I've never used Mastodon though, but it should be similar to Twitter, I guess. You just write something and post, right? Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty much it. If you run into any problems, let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, I think the mentoring would be a good thing to promote. absolutely. So yeah, just go ahead and do that.
And also a Google Summer of Code. I have a PR open for the initial document, like the kickoff document. It would be also very nice if you can review that. I will post this link on these links on Slack for easy access.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks. Anything else on mentoring?
No, that's all.
Okay. Contributor growth working group.
All right. Just swinging back quickly to website, Ali. If we can find a person that's willing to work on the website, can you give a little bit of guidance? Because I have somebody in mind that might have some bandwidth and interested in learning a little more Hugo.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Okay. I'll ask if she works with Jay. So I'll just check if she's keen. No promises.
Yep.
Good.
Oh,
All
thank you.
right. Contributor working group, a growth working group. There was no meeting since November, so there are no new news. However, the next one is on January 25, and I'll be traveling. I'm coming back from the LF All Hands, so I'll appreciate if somebody can pick that up. Looking in the direction of Noah.
I unfortunately will be occupied that day. Will also not be able to make it. So we'll have to put out a call.
I can do that if nobody else is available. I'm also happy not to do it if someone else wants to facilitate it.
I can be there and facilitate it. I'm not going to know much about the context of it and stuff. That's the only thing.
No, that would be cool. So I think Rihanna and Noah, if you could just make sure that we have some stuff on the agenda, that would be helpful.
Okay.
Just the basic framework for the agenda for those of us that don't always attend. I attend it pretty frequently, David, and I will be there. I'll be honest, I try to avoid running these meetings because it's between 6 to 7 p.m. my time, and I've been running meetings for the past couple of hours, and so I'm just tired by the time these roll around. So yeah, if you could take the lead on that, that'd be great.
Thanks, Evan. Thanks all.
Yeah, okay, it's on my calendar. I'll be there to facilitate.
Cool. Noah, did you want to talk briefly about the non-code group?
I just wanted to say that one of our action items for this year is going to be popping into a bunch of various SIGs to observe how they work and get a feel for how people are doing things. But I didn't want to pop in and say, "Hi, we're Tag CS here," and not have the rest of the tag know that we were doing it. So just letting folks know that that is something that is happening over the course of the next few months.
Cool. Thanks. Okay. So I put in a note that the getting the word out, it's sort of the same as like the weekly tweet and social, I think. So we'll do some mentoring stuff. Is there anything we need to get in the monthly maintainer newsletter? I assume the mentoring stuff already goes in that because I know Nate's involved in the newsletter. So I assume that's probably already happening.
So Nate will be back on 25th of January, I think. And it might be too late. I don't know if he already planned something in his absence, like if he wrote to people. I don't remember.
He's actually gonna be back on Monday the 15th, which
Oh,
is
really?
but yeah, he should be back on board. He's in Canada, so that he's working that day.
Okay, I thought it's 20. Okay, that's cool. So
Awesome.
yeah,
And what's the Daniel, do you happen to know what the deadline is for the maintainer newsletter for January?
I don't know, but if it was something, I'm sure he would have prepped someone in advance. So I don't think it's imminent, but I'll defer to him.
Okay, cool. Okay, we have reached the end of the things on the agenda. Is there anything else that we need to talk about? Okay.
That was great time management right there.
Just driving right through. Okay, cool. Well, I will not object to ending a meeting 30 minutes early. I'm happy to have my 30 minutes of my evening back.
I do want to discuss the color of the bike shed before we get there.
Yeah, no, nope.
You had me there for a second, Noah.
Nice try. Nice try. All
Have a good
right.
evening.
Yeah,
See you
thanks,
around.
everybody.
Bye.
Have a good
Thank
day.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.